Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back to another mod release video. So this is the new skidder. It is a dangle skidder and a grapple skidder. This is a little different than previous versions that I've made before, and I'm going to show you what's changed. So first of all, we went back, we're just doing the 2 tires on this guy. It's just a, a nice little single body. Again, it does not articulate, it is just a solid fixed body. That might be something we look at 2019. We might go back to articulating if we can do it right. So the main difference on this from every other skidder that we've ever seen or built is the head is actually a separate attachment. So you can buy this from the in-game menu as a separate attachment, and the head actually comes completely empty when you buy it. So I'll hook up this guy. So yeah, all you gotta do is back up to it. Sorry, I just gotta fix my joystick here. That's not on as usual. There we go. It's got a nice little backup camera here, or work camera. Once you get over top, all you gotta do is hit Q to attach, and now you have yourself a dangler on there. So now this dangle head you cannot turn yourself. Like, you can't turn it left and right. It has a range to turn, but not a lot of range to turn. It's no problem for backing up and picking up logs, as you'll see here. It does tend to hang around and flop around on its own, so if you stop the machine, you notice it's wiggling about. That's just normal. But it's probably one of the most efficient dangle heads I've ever had the pleasure of making yet, so we did something a little bit different on the scripting on this one to make it work the way it does. And it works pretty good. So these piles are pretty big. This is my processor pre-cut map. And the snow just happens to be a funny added bonus, so we're just going to grab a few of these here. I can pick up these big ones. So now this claw does have the ability to squeeze as tight as you want to the point where it pops out, just like my loaders. When you do squeeze up, all you want to do is bring it so that it feels, nice and taut. You don't have to, squeeze the living crap out of it, just so it's nice and tight kind of feeling. And then you can start trekking your loads around. Well, like I said, it does have a tiny bit of bend in that grapple. Not as much as like a free rotation head, but enough to make it turn without launching the logs all over the place. And I found that it actually works super, super well for dragging logs around. I don't know where I'm bringing these logs, but we're just kind of doing a practice run here. But as you can see, you can do, pretty much a full rotation dragging the logs, is whatever length they are. So we'll just drag them right to the middle here and just drop them off. Again, you can use your camera to find, whatever position you want for that. The shield on the back doesn't go all the way to the ground. It's just kind of a placeholder, so you can back up and bump into stuff. But I didn't make it so you could move it just because I had a lot of people complain about there was too many moving parts. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for people to use. And I think we've achieved that with this one. So let's see if we can get some more here. It's actually really fun to skid. I've been using it lots. I used it in multiplayer lots as well, too. So I'm sure some of you have seen this already. Just gonna bring this one up here. The head itself on the grapple is very heavy, so it's able to support these logs pretty well no matter what the size. Oops. I gotta figure out my keyboard controls here. There we go. So like I said, it's very similar to the loader grapple. I should grab it a little close to the machine here. We're gonna pull up a bit. You don't need to go too crazy. There we go, that's better. So yeah, like I said, you can squeeze them pretty tight. You want to squeeze them so they're not shaking. That's generally what I do. If you squeeze them and they're shaking, it means you squeezed them way too hard. So let's go over here, and then we're going to loop back and see if I can put them in that same spot. But as you can see, it's a pretty effective way to drag. Again, it's not going to be 100% perfect all the time. You're going to find weird moments like where a log gets stuck or, anything's possible with this game's engine. But for the most part, it handles very, very, very well. And like I said, all the testing I've done with other people have shown that it's turned out to be a really good loader, or a really good skidder. So you can drop it all in this pile. Yeah, the key to making it work was to definitely separate this grapple as its own little part, just because it's able to act as a trailer body instead of, a separate physic on the same machine. So you can drop these. I don't know how well. I recommend never taking it off again unless you're buying another one. I mean, you can disconnect it, and most of the time they settle pretty good. If you drop it in a weird spot, sometimes it'll tip over, and then you'll have to sell it or reset it or whatever. But for the most part, you can pretty well drop it wherever. and it'll stay on there. So yeah, anyway, it gives you guys the ability to do something a little bit different. I'm also going to be having a dozer version of this as well with that arm on the back, just so we can use the same grapple for both machines. It'll be pretty fun. It also opens up for the idea in the new game, when I go to 2019, I'll be able to make something very similar, and we'll be able to add different attachments to the back as well for the Skidder. So anyway, so that's the new mod. You guys can get that in the download link description below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.